Can't lie to you guys. I was pretty wrong.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and we got some breaking news from ESPN. Apparently, General Manager Joe Douglas is still out there making calls about bringing in a starting offensive tackle. But before we get into that, a couple pieces of announcements. Guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do that now. Hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I go live or a new video drops, and hit the like button. It really helps us promote the channel and get the video out there to new and exciting Jets fans. Guys, also in the links in the description are a bunch of new links to my merch, to my Patreon, to a donation page, whatever it is. If you guys feel like going above and beyond to help the Talking Jets with Tigo channel, I would greatly appreciate it. None of it is required. Also, all of my social media in the link as well. Guys, earlier this week, we know that we obviously lost Elijah Vera-Tucker last Sunday and Brees Hall, and the New York Jets general manager Joe Douglas immediately went out and made a trade to acquire James Robinson, running back from Jacksonville, and it was pennies on the dollars. It was a fifth-round pick. It was a sixth that'll turn into a fifth once he passes 600 yards this year. Now, I made a video talking about how I didn't think that Joe Douglas would go out and acquire an offensive tackle. I just thought, we've got the pieces in here. But that was before the news came out that even when George Fant comes back off of IR, we don't know about his availability for the rest of the year. Now, that being said, I've never been the biggest George Fant fan. That's not a secret. If you watch any of my videos from before the season moving forward, you knew that I was always a Max Mitchell guy. But what does this tell me? This tells me that the New York Jets, one, don't have a lot of faith in the availability and, in my opinion, the level of play that you can get from a guy like George Fant. But the other one is there's concern about Dwayne Brown's shoulder. I believe in Max Mitchell, and I think that he can play when he gets back. But apparently, Joe Douglas is making his calls and trying to find somebody before the deadline. There are 4 names that come to mind when it comes to starting tackles that we can trade for. And we've heard of all of these guys, so I'm going to run through them relatively quickly and get it going. Number 1 is obviously Andre Dillard of the Philadelphia Eagles. He was on he's on IR right now, or he's coming back off of IR and all of that stuff, and he was injured, but it doesn't look like he has a starting spot in Philadelphia anymore. It seems like he lost that job to Mailata, who's playing at an exceptional level, and Philly might want to hold on to him because they're on an incredible run, and there's a realistic possibility that they win 14, 15 games this year, and having depth at one of the most important positions on the football field is key. But Andre Dillard is a target that we could go after if we're okay with the injury. Number 2, a guy, again, this is in order of who I think we should probably go get and who's available, and like from least to worst, right? So Andre Dillard is my least favorite of all of the targets, and that's not saying that I don't like Andre Dillard. I'd love him on the New York Jets. Next would be Isaiah Wynn, offensive tackle for the New England Patriots. Now, I don't know how much of that is a realistic possibility between the two teams to make a trade for a starting tackle. Interdivisional trades are very, very rare, especially between the Jets and the New England Patriots. But Wynn is an incredibly good offensive tackle player, and we can bring him in, and he's relatively young, so we could keep him on the team for a long time. The next player, this is where these 2 guys are probably the most likely, and you've heard of them before, obviously, is Laramie Tunsil for the Houston Texans. Is obviously their left tackle right now. The Houston Texans are abysmal. There's no prospects for their future, for this year. Them trading away an asset that actually has value makes a lot of sense. And I think a really good part about Laramie Tunsil is that there is 1 more year left on his contract. So not only are you bringing him in, you could have control of him for an additional year. And then last but not least, the player that I would want to go out and trade for would be Jack Conklin. Jack Conklin is on that list of players that were almost Jets. And I think that he could be an exceptionally good player that can anchor both the left and the right side, depending on if Dwayne Brown continues to play, depending on if we want Max to start or anything like that. And then He's only 28 years old, so I would feel pretty confident trading for him, immediately giving him a contract extension and keeping him on this team long term. It would fix our offensive tackle situation for the next couple of years, because we have to remember, moving into next year, we do have Mekhi Becton. We obviously drafted Max Mitchell. Dwayne Brown is still under contract. We would be adding an exceptionally good player like Jack Conklin, and we've seen that Elijah Vera-Tucker now, in a pinch, can play at the tackle position. It eliminates a need from the draft, giving us the ability to take other players really, really high. If Joe Douglas is going to make this move, Jack Conklin is the guy that I would want to go after, especially because I think it wouldn't cost you the second round pick that probably Laramie Tunsil would cost you. I think Jack Conklin probably costs you a third round pick or a fourth round pick, and I'm cool with sending those picks away for a guy like Jack Conklin, and I'm less concerned about him in the locker room like I am with Laramie Tunsil. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, who do you think Joe Douglas should go out and target and trade for? And last but not least, go Jets.